Hello pumpkin people, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, my name is Kristen. This is my channel Harvest and Holly, where I talk about fall, Halloween, and Christmas year-round, so you're just in time. Because even though I want to say those seasons are upon us, it feels like they are if you're like a year-round spooky person. You know, it's coming very soon, so it's a good time to tune in and get prepared if you're not the kind of person who prepares all year round like I do. But today I have a very special haul. I've never done a completely 100% thrifted, vintage, antique, secondhand garage sale, all of that kind of haul. So everything here is, you know, old stuff. So unfortunately I won't be able to link it, but I have other hauls coming with new for 2024 Halloween and fall items. So don't worry if that's more your jam. We are going for kind of cottage vintage witch vibes this year with a little bit of farmhouse influence. I'm gonna be doing some of that in my home, so you'll see some of these items in my Halloween decorating videos, but some of you guys who have been on my channel for a while, you know that I volunteer to decorate for a community Halloween event called Erie Manor. We actually have a historic mansion in one of our metro parks that they open up to the public for Christmas each year for like a week. They bring all these volunteers in who decorate each room for Christmas, and then they let the public walk through on tours for free. It's a very big event in our town. And the past few years, they started doing it for Halloween. So my husband and I, my mom and our friends, Tess and Brad, help us decorate a room. And it's completely volunteer based. So you do all the decorating yourself, you bring all your own decor. So a lot of this is for that. And I just wanted to say that because this is a lot of items for me personally, and I have more hauls to come that will include a lot for Erie Manor. And I would not be buying all of this just for my own house. I have a really good collection of decor. I don't need a ton more. I do add each year. But a lot of what you'll see on my channel was picked up basically as sort of like a donation volunteer type of thing. And don't feel the pressure to go out and just redo everything and buy like it might look like I'm doing. I have a reason for it, and it's not just, you know, decorating my house. So that all being said, let's get into it. The first item is this DIY spell book that we bought from a vendor at a halfway to Halloween convention that we went to in May. This is really cool. I think it probably could be a fairly easy DIY to do on your own, but we have done some very big DIYs for Erie Manor, and the smaller stuff we're just gonna, you know, buy. So I love this. This is perfect for our theme. And then the next thing that we got is this cabinet. We actually got this at a garage sale, and it does have a glass front here if you're seeing a glare. So we thought this would be the perfect sort of apothecary cabinet. We can put little potion bottles and bones and little things like that in it. And we have been picking up tons and tons and tons of vintage and antique bottles from our local antique mall, flea markets, things like that. I'm not gonna show you all of them. I have our smaller bottles in this bag here, so I'll show you a few of those. The bottles that we've really been looking out for are these vintage or antique ones that still have their labels on them. I don't care what the label is. I just think that original label gives it such an authentic look, and nobody's gonna have enough time or maybe even be able to get close enough to these to see what exactly they say. So like this one says soldering fluid. I know this one's a liquor bottle. This one is glycerin, and this is Underberg. We also got just some plain ones like this that we can actually put a label on and make it something spooky. This one was $1, so we got several that were like this. So moving on from the bottles, something fun that I found is this caramel apple. This was $1, so I decided to get it, and I thought maybe I could make this into a poison apple, or it might just be cute as is in a display. Let me show you our favorite find. This was the most expensive thing that we bought, but it's probably one of the most witchy things, and like I've personally wanted these for a very long time for my own Halloween decorating. So they are these antique boots. They look like witch boots. These are real vintage boots. I couldn't find like a brand or anything, but when I look on Etsy, they are from some time in the 1800s, so they're very old. I have them stuffed right now with paper in them, but I just cannot believe these. These are so perfect. I have an idea where I want to display these in my house, and I know when I start decorating with this stuff, my husband's gonna be like, are you sure you want to do that? Because you're just gonna have to take it down in a few weeks, but yes, I'm sure. Something else ultra witchy that I have wanted for years, and I never was able to find these until this, well, actually I found some of these around Christmas time last year. And so I'll show you the ones that I picked up for our house in a different video, but these are some antique portraits, and I've been looking for these for a long time. I can find tons of antique photos at my antique mall, but never the portraits. And like, how witchy. That looks like a witch. These are from, one of these said 18, this one says that it's from 1894. So is that not crazy? And I'll put a picture up on the screen here so you can see sort of a DIY that I want to do with the ones that I'm going to use at my own house. But with these, I think we'll just kind of stash them around, maybe make it look a bit like a shrine. They are perfect, but wait, there's more and it's even better. You guys, this is a real antique photo. This isn't like a poster or something or a replica. This is a huge antique photo, but this is so good. This is so good. And God rest these women's souls. I'm sure they're no longer with us if these are really from like 1898 or whatever, but their outfits from this time period give witch. Am I right? The hair, it gives witch. Is this a man or a woman? I actually don't know. It doesn't matter. It's creepy either way. So yeah, I grabbed this, and this was only $12. That might sound like a lot for a tattered and torn old photo of someone I don't know. That's actually affordable. I was super happy to find that. All right, so moving on, my husband had the idea to do like torture devices or like a little display of kind of tools that maybe a witch would use to torture someone or to get their supplies for their potions and whatnot. So we found this vintage, I don't know if it's like a cookie dough scoop, but he saw this one. He's like, what if we put an eyeball in it and eyeballs around it? So we got this. We got this for 50 cents. We thought we could put like teeth around this one. And this last one is my favorite. I got one of these. I forget what this is called. Is it a scythe or something like that? But this is, I actually wish that this was sharpened because I could use this in my garden. I have a patch of yarrow that's completely flopped over that I need to cut back, and I could just round it all up and cut it all back with this, but it's very dull. And we got this for $4. I love it. Next up, I got a bunch of the antique books. These ones were like $1 to $2, which I think is fair, especially like the covers on some of these are really cute. I didn't realize that some of these are hymnals or whatever, so maybe not the best choice for a witch display, but I was just really kind of going for the look of them. This is the Hymns of God. Hymns for the Family of God. But yeah, I think these were all in the $1 to $2, maybe $3 range. My favorite one though is this one, which is Roddy's Complete Geography. I just thought this looked kind of witchy, so we'll probably use this in a display. So the main part of our room, we have a couple animatronic witches, and we DIY'd a really large cauldron that we're gonna make look like it's bubbling up. And the goal, we hope we can do this, hopefully it'll work, is we want to hang the floating like Harry Potter candles around them, and also maybe book pages coming out of a spell book and like kind of swirling around. I know that sounds like a lot. It sounds like a big, I don't know, to do. We'll see if we can do it. I'll insert a picture so you can see what we did last year. We did a Day of the Dead theme last year, and we hung the Papel Picado flags across the room using some backdrop stands on either side of the room. And we were thinking we could set up those same stands and string fishing line across them and then hang, you know, the book pages and the candles off the fishing lines to create that sort of levitating feel in there. So books are a pretty big theme, and there's a ton of books already in that room that we can use to decorate, but I just wanted to get a few more. I still have so much more to go. This is gonna be such a long haul. We did get one of these. I have no idea what kind of bucket this is. Maybe a grain bucket or something like that. This was $4. We bought some faux apples that are kind of like this, but they don't have the candy stuff on them, and we were thinking that we could fill this up with like poison apples, maybe make them look gross or something as part of our display. I don't know. If we don't use this bucket in our display, maybe I'll use it here at home. We also found a little broom here. This was like $4, so I picked it up and I thought this could sit on one of the tables. Now this is very witchy. I saw this the first time we went to the antique mall and we decided not to get it. And I went back specifically like a week or two later looking for this, but it is this vintage cauldron or pot. I don't know what you want to call it. I'm thinking this is a cauldron, or that's what I'm going to call it at least. This was, I think, $10, so it wasn't very expensive. I mean, this looks so much more authentic because it's real than the ones that you would pick up from Joann's or whatever, and it was significantly cheaper. So if you're looking for cauldrons, maybe check out your antique mall or flea markets. I actually saw a few at the flea market that we went to last weekend as well. Next up, got a couple faux gourds. Actually, this pumpkin here in the background, that is from the flea market as well. I got that for $3, and my husband found these for like $1 together or something like that at a garage sale. We also got this vintage bird cage from my antique mall. This was $15. That's probably more than I wanted to spend on this, but I think that's probably the going rate for a bird cage, like a brand new decorative one at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So to get a vintage one for the same price, I would prefer, you know, if I end up using this next year in my decor, I would prefer a vintage one versus like a brand new one from Michael's. I decided to just go ahead and get it, even though it was a little bit more than I wanted to spend. By the way, I forgot to mention how much the boots were. I was going on about how they were the most expensive thing. These were $40. So that's a little bit high for old raggedy boots. These can go for well over $100 on Etsy. And we had found some boots that were just like way out of our price range. I think they were over $100 at the antique mall. And we were like, we'll just, you know, go on a Halloween costume website and buy witch boots, which would have been at least $20 to $30. So when I saw these for $40, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get those. And I guess I could potentially sell them in the future since they are kind of valuable, but I won't because I love them so much. So anyways, moving on. All right, we have just a few items left. We got a few different silver trays. My husband bought these two from a garage sale for 50 cents each. Bless his heart, he did not know that these were from the Dollar Tree, but when he brought them home, I was like, babe, those were $1 at one point, so you paid only 50% off on these, but it's fine. I actually went to the Dollar Tree looking for these, and they don't carry them, at least not at the ones around me anymore, so I'm not gonna complain about 50 cents, but we did get this one from our antique mall for around $10, I wanna say. It's really weathered and vintagey looking, which is perfect. We were thinking some of our apothecary displays could be in these trays. All right, so this last item, I'm curious if my mom is watching, because if she is, she will love this because she actually has a couple of, I think they're authentic original ones, but we got this punch tin lantern, and these can be very pricey. The original ones, they're worth a lot, and I think the original ones are probably from like colonial times. She doesn't think hers is, but I do, because she said that it was vintage when she bought it, and she bought it like 30, 40 years ago. So anyways, this one was, I think, $30, and I will use this in my decor, you know, after we use it at the manor house. So we did splurge on it. And actually, is there a candle in here? There's a candle in here. I didn't even notice. It's melted backwards, but there's actually a candy shop. It's the country's oldest candy store in Salem, Massachusetts. It's called Ye Old Pepper Candy Company, or Ye Old Pepper Co. Anyways, they have this like vintage punch tin lantern chandelier thing in their store in Salem. So it just kind of, Salem, which is, I don't know, that's how I put 2 and 2 together and decided to get this. So that's the last item from this haul. If you are still here, thank you so much for watching. I have been filming forever. Let me know what your favorite item is from this haul. And if you do a similar cottage, vintage, witchy look, let me know if there's some pieces that I need to be looking out for that are staples in the antique malls and thrift stores and stuff like that. Because we have until obviously some point in October to collect items, and the room we're decorating is quite big, so we don't have nearly enough. So we'll be out hunting all summer long for this stuff. And I do have a couple more hauls coming, like I said earlier in the beginning of this video, so stay tuned for that. I'd love to have you subscribe if you're new here. Thank you guys so much again, and I will catch you in a future video. Bye now.